Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Ujjwal Singh and this is ApexSandbox.io challenge series. So in this series, we solve problems related to Apex programming. So in our earlier videos, we have solved this section Apex 101 that consists of the basic fundamentals of Apex programming. And also then we have solved this database 101 series. So you can refer to my playlist that is ApexSandbox.io challenge where you can find lots of videos related to these Apex problems. And here you get the solution of all those Apex problems. Okay. And today we are going to solve problem number 98, short list of sObjects, which is the part of Apex language features. Okay, so before starting the video, if you like my content, do hit the like button, share it with your friends and colleagues, and do not forget to subscribe my channel. Okay, so let's start. So let's go through the problem, what exactly the problem is. So we need to implement the method getAccounts function, which accepts the list of accounts as a inputs and returns a new list of accounts sorted in a descending order based on the annual revenue field. So we have this function that receives a list of account, and in this accounts we have a field of that particular account that is annual revenue. Then we need to sort this list of account based on this annual revenue fields, and then we need to return the updated sorted account list from this functions. Okay, so let's see how we can do the same. So for this, you can see here it's already showing that write a extra class here. So for this we need to create a wrapper class for this. Okay, so let's create a wrapper class, maybe public, just a minute, yeah, public class, and let me name it as short revenue. Okay, so I name it as short revenue. So this is how we can create an wrapper class or just a class. Okay, and now here I will declare two variables. So first let me declare decimal rev. Here we store the revenue for that particular account. Okay, and then we will store account details also. Account. Okay, so we have created two variable, and now we will create a constructor for this class. So construction we will create the same way like this, and here I am taking the same decimal rev and account ACC. Okay, so we have created these two variables with our class short revenue, and now we are creating a constructor, and in construction we are importing different parameters. One is revenue parameters and second is account parameters, and I am going to assign this parameter values to our this class variables. Okay, so for this we will use this dot rev equals to rev, and similarly we will use this dot acc equals to acc. Okay, this is how we will assign these parameters values to a particular class variables. Okay, so we have created one the class extra class, and we have also created the construction for this. Okay, now let's switch to our main code. So first we will create a list of this type. So basically we have created this class, and here we have defined these two types of variables. So now it will act as an data structure, data type. Okay, so we can use this type of a structure within the list. So I will use this short revenue and name it let as revenue. Okay, and let's go to new, and again I will use the same thing, short revenue. And okay, we have created this a list of type this class, this data type. Now again I will use a list of account that can be used to return, like let me name it as final result. Okay, so this is a list which of type this, and this is the list we will use for returning purpose, and it's the type of the account. Okay, yeah. Now what we will do is we will first loop through our all the records like this records. First we need to loop through these records. Like first we need to have revenue and their account information. Like we have created this structure and now we have to fill this structure. Like we have created the list. Okay, so we have to fill this list in a same structure. So for this I will use for, and we have account. Let name it at SSC and accounts. So account is this, and this is a type, this is the iteration variable, and this is the account list which we received from this function. Okay, let's do this. And to add this particular value to in this list, revenue list, let me use this revenue dot add. Okay, and we will use this. Now for adding this we need to create, or let me create a variable type of this. So let me name it as ref temp. Okay, and equals to new. Again I will use this short fan. Okay, so now here we have declare a variable of type this. So while creating the object of this data type or this class new, it calls this constructor. Okay, so we have declared this constructor. Now we have to pass this value to this constructor. So here we will use this account dot annual revenue. You can see we have this fields annual revenue in our account records. So we will use this annual revenue, and second field we will simply pass account whole record. Okay, so here I am just passing the annual revenue part of particular account record, and next I am passing the whole account record. Okay, and then I will pass this rev temp. Okay, in this way. So in this way it will create a first record of this type rev temp, and rev temp is a type of short revenue, and then it will create a list of these type short revenue. Okay, now what we have to do, now we have to do a sorting. So for sorting we will write a logic. Okay, so to sort the logic we will basically use a sorting algorithm, or we can define one algorithm here. Okay, so let's use integer. Okay, so let me name it integer j equals to 0, and j should be less than what we have. We will use this ref new, and we need to size. For size we have this method size, and we will simply increment j by 1. Okay, this is how we have looped through this particular list. Okay, now again I will use, so for sorting purpose we need to loop to a whole list twice. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. Again I will declare integer I equals to 0 and I equals to less than. Okay, so we have first looping through this, like we have looping through this the venue list twice. So first we are calculating the size, maybe the size is 10 times. So this loop will run 10 into 10, that is 100 times. Okay, so this we are doing because I will let you know just okay. Now I have one more condition. We need to check whether this I shouldn't be last one. Okay, so last one equals to, let me show you the same. Okay, so we will only execute this loop till the last index, last minus one index. Okay, not less than that. Okay, so if I starts from 0 and it goes till 10, so we will only run it via 9 only. Okay, okay, because we don't want to execute like go apart from the size of the list. Okay, so because if we don't use this, so maybe it can go to 10 or 11 number. Let me show you, then you will be more understandable. So let me use if. Again, I will use revenue, and here I will use I dot rev less than revenue I plus 1 dot rev. Okay, so for this purpose we have written this. Okay, because we are checking the value on index I and its value on the next index. So we are checking the value at index 0 with index 1. So if the size of list is till 10, so it may goes from one more index which doesn't exist. So that's why we are using this size less than 1, so that it never goes above the size of that list. Okay, so if first what we are doing is we are looping through this list and we are comparing whether the current revenue is less than the next revenue. If it's less than next revenue, we will simply remove the revenue from next index, like the next index, and we will copy this revenue to the current index. Okay, so for that what we will do is we will use a short revenue temp, and I will use to store the revenue of next index. So it is I plus 1. Okay, we will store all the records here, then we will remove this. We have a method remove, and here were I plus 1. So what we are doing, we are just storing the next value, like the next data, to a temporary variable, and then we are removing this next data from this our list, revenue list. Okay, and then what we are doing is we are adding that to a particular index, which is our current index, that is I. Okay, and what's need to be add, that is temp. Okay, so first we are removing this. If the current value is less than the next value, we are first storing the next value in a temporary variable, then removing the next value from this revenue list, and then storing the next value to a current index, and the value on the current index will automatically shift to the next index. Okay, so in this way we will iterate over. Once we iterate over all the list, it one value will be shorted, and we need to short all values. So that's why we have used two times, like we have used two times this loop, so that all the values can be in a shorted order. Okay, let's now, so our sorting logic is completed. After our sorting logic, we need to loop through again to this short revenue SR, and what is our revenue? This, because it contains the type of this rev, decimal, and account, but we need to return only the account list. That's why we have created this final, and here we will add this SR ACC. Okay, that contains this. Okay, in this way, we have the final list of account that can be returned, and simply we will now return final list, final result. Okay, yeah. And now one more thing I can do is, let's put this whole code in a try-catch prompt. Okay, let me use this exception E. Okay, let me copy this whole code and I will put this into try catch block. Okay, so we have this try catch block code, and if some exception occurs, we will return null. Okay, so this is how we have come. We can write a code to sort a particular S object, like a list of S objects. So in this way, we can sort this result. So let's see. Let's execute our test case and see whether this is working or not. Yeah. So our code has been successfully executed and all the test case has been passed. Okay, so in this way you can write the code for sorting a sorting list of the S object. Okay, that's it in this video. See you next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.